Hello Year 10, you'll be pleased to see the webcam's not working, so no picture of my morning hair for you to have to put up with. We are on week 5 of the poetry workbook this week. So same as normal, I'll read out the spellings and the examples, you just pause and write them down. So, number 1, engendered. The Duke's actions engendered horror in the reader. The strange smell coming from the bathroom and the strange noises coming from the bathroom engendered fear in the people house. That's not a good example. Number 2, malignant. Malignant. The personification of the mountain makes it seem malignant and threatening. Next one, this is a toughie. Number 3, habeas corpus. During the 18th century, habeas corpus was suspended. Habeas corpus. Number 4, infringement. Shelley infringed many of society's conventions. If you're walking around a garden and there's a sign saying please don't walk on the lawn, and you walked on the lawn, that would be an infringement. And after that, infringe, same definition. Please do not infringe on the lawn. Please do not infringe by stealing from the shop. Number 6, prevalent. Prevalent. Themes of nature and natural world are prevalent throughout Romantic poetry. Prevalent. Number 7, ephemerality. Ephemerality. Shelley's sonnet highlights the ephemerality of human power. And as well as that, please spell ephemeral. Ephemeral. Same definition. Some people think happiness is ephemeral. Some people think life is ephemeral. In 10 years' time, this strange business called lockdown will have seemed very ephemeral. Number 8, longevity. Longevity. The liquid alliteration of the words lone and level sands emphasize the longevity of nature. He hoped to live to a grand old age. He hoped for longevity of age. Next, profound. Conflict has a profound impact on all those who are involved in it. Love is the most profound human emotion. Next, intense. Very similar to profound. The imagery portrays the intensity of the storm. He felt intense anger. And if you could also spell intensity, please, same definition. And next, British Empire. I'm reading a 743-page book on the British Empire at the moment, and I'm learning lots I didn't know. The British Empire extended across the globe and was known as the empire on which the sun never sets. Except it did. British Empire. Okay, revision of previous weeks. Radical. Radical. The radical Blake criticises the church that turns its back on poverty. Many of the Romantic poets held views that would have seemed radical at the time. Predominantly, the language of the poem is predominantly demotic. Romantic poets are predominantly interested in nature. Not strictly true, but Next, holistic. Blake presents a holistic view on Georgian society. When you are looking at a problem, it is best to look at it holistically and not just one small thing. Next, indoctrinate. The manacles are a metaphor for man's indoctrination and submission to tyranny and authoritarianism. Let's see if we can come up with a different example. Indoctrinate. Arthur Burling tries to indoctrinate his children so that they think exactly the same, so they have the same views as him. Next, dictator. Shelley presents Ozymandias as if he were a cruel dictator. Next, sublime. Wordsworth views nature as sublime in the poem we're looking at. He experiences nature as a sublime experience. Next, awe. Wordsworth also feels awe towards nature in the poem. It has a profound effect on him. Awe. What does it mean to feel awe at something? Next, oppression. The marks could be interpreted as marks of oppression. Oppressive government and church control results in deprivation, starvation, and poverty. J.B. Priestley, in An Inspector Calls, was trying to show his audience the oppression that working class women like Eva Smith suffered at the hands of people like the Burlings. Next, tyrant. What is a tyrant? Macbeth is presented as a tyrant once he becomes king. Ozymandias is presented as a cruel and arrogant tyrant. What is a tyrant? And finally for this week, the French Revolution. Many of the Romantics were influenced by the French Revolution, but what was the French Revolution? Okay, moving on to your quotes, the 3 quotes that I asked you to revise. I will read out the first bit, you just need to write out the rest. Number 1, it was an act of, write down the rest. Number 2, she was an, and number 3, much longer one, small circles glittering idly in the moon. If you could write the rest, please. And send me in your answers. That's it for this week. Well done to those of you who are keeping up with the work. You're doing amazingly. Only 2 weeks to go, and you really, really will benefit from that in 11. You'll hit the ground running. So well done, and have a good week, and I'll speak to you soon. If I can get the video to pause.